and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen. I like to listen. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs. I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to about how they're better than the other MCs and more clever. I like rap music. I like to listen to it. I like to put it in my car when I drive down the street. I like to hear the MCs talking about how they're better than the other MCs and more rap music. Fellas and more rap music. Fellas and more clever.
It's a little long. Yeah, that song needs to be about 30 seconds shorter, but it's pretty cool. I like it. That's Corey, my old best friend before we broke up or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, we had a bro breakup.
How does that work?
Basically, he just stopped talking to me and just wouldn't care about me anymore. When I quit drinking, it caused problems. It caused problems with my marriage, caused problems with my best friend.
Did you used to drink a lot together or something? You and your friend?
I mean, we used to drink together, sure. I mean, he's not really... His wife's an alcoholic. I drink with her, and then, but I drink with him sometimes. It just worked well for us that... Neither of us was really going anywhere or doing anything. Once I quit drinking, then I changed. I wasn't broken anymore. It's like when I was drinking, I had a deep humility about me that came from the fact that I just hated myself so much, And it didn't shut me down completely. I still would be a little bit fighty, but for the most part, it was easy to win any fight with me. I always felt like that because all anybody ever had to say was, "Yeah, well, you're a drunk." No matter what we were talking about, I always felt like that's all anybody had to say to win a fight with me, and so it made me just filled with shame all the time, which makes you not very good at battle, and not very inclined to battle. And then, so I let a lot of wrongness slide. I let a lot of wrongness slide in my ex-wife. I let a lot of wrongness slide in my best friend. And I quit drinking, and all of a sudden they kept wanting to be just as wrong as ever, but I wasn't having it anymore.
Yeah, it changed.
So I was no longer allowing myself to be pushed around is what happened. And I was holding them to account. They didn't like it. Candace left, he left. It's because they lacked the capacity to be honest.
What do you mean about before?
I mean, that's why it caused conflict between me and them, is they lacked the capacity to be honest. Candace couldn't be honest about what was going on with us, and Corey couldn't be honest about anything. Corey was being actively dishonest. At least Candace was trying. Corey told me all kinds of stupid shit. Basically, he told me the words he figured would be most discouraging to prevent me from starting my own business and doing this shit. he just insisted none of it was going to work. It was a terrible idea. Everything was ill-advised, and an example of what's something wrong with me rather than the truth, which was it's an example of something wrong with him. And the thing is, he's an INFJ, and I'd always trusted him a great deal, and he'd always been trustworthy. So he was uniquely positioned to actually discourage me. He didn't, but to be uniquely positioned to actually discourage me and then to do so for the wrong reasons because your ego is threatened, that's not cool.
You make him sound like an asshole.
Well, I feel bad for him, actually, because he's great, but he can't handle some certain reality. He can't handle the fact that he really needs to get out of his marriage, that the woman's insane. He's an alcoholic and borderline personality disorder, INFP. Can you imagine the nightmare? And I mean, INFPs need to not be alcoholics because they're already by nature shockingly selfish people. I mean, not in a bad way, not in a like, I want to walk all over everybody else to get what I want. It's a weird kind of localized selfishness that says
perspective or something.
Well, it says basically this, that in each of my individual relationships with another individual person, we each have our own distinct set of rules and stuff for us that is based upon my feelings. So I'm mad because you said something mean, and it occurs in a vacuum. We don't get to reference the fact that you just said the same thing to me, but it doesn't hurt your feelings. Therefore, it's okay for me to say that. And it hurts my feelings. Therefore, it's not okay for you to say that. Is a perfectly sensible explanation for an INFP. It makes perfectly good sense. Or something like, but listen, at the start of this thing, I was exceedingly clear. This is my minimum necessary requirement to go any further here. And I got lots of indication from you that you never said directly, yes, I meet that requirement. It's true. But I get lots of indication from you that that was to be assumed, and no indication from you that it wasn't to be assumed. And I made clear to you that this is very important to me. So why is it that what you told me then is not true now? And didn't I make that clear at the outset that you need to know at least this for sure before we go any further? And our basic position is, well, but aren't you glad? Because don't you like spending time with me right now? And wouldn't we otherwise not be spending time together? And to me, the answer is yes, INFP, you're right. On your scale, that's true. I am enjoying this experience. And it was enabled by the fact that I was operating on false assumptions. But that doesn't change the fact that that wasn't okay. But they don't get that. But of course they're right. If let's say I wouldn't go back and unhab the experience. That's what's weird about it, is I'm right. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be like, oh yeah, there'll be balloons at the party. So I'm only going to this party if there are balloons, okay? There'll definitely be balloons there. For sure. You get shitloads of balloons. You kidding me? It's like nothing but balloons there. Okay, you show up at the party. There's no balloons. But you have a good time at the party anyway. And then the person goes, well, aren't you glad I told you there was balloons? Well,
Well,
no.
I think it's more like there are balloons but no party. The important part is missing.
Yeah, you're right. That's a better analogy. That's totally what it's like. Okay, yeah, I hear the balloons, but wasn't I coming here for a party? That's good. That's great. That's such. Yeah, that's right. That's perfect. But I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, I am glad that I got whatever I went over there for, whether it was balloons, party, cake, or whatever. I was glad to be there, even though it wasn't as promised. And ultimately, like I said, I wouldn't trade the experience. And to me, it was an important learning lesson. It was also an important. It feels like such a clear storyline and chapter. I like that aspect of it. That it's got such a clear. It's got big events in it. Because I went to Taylor's. We went shooting that trip. The same trip I went to see her. And I almost died, and the car right back, and all the exciting things happened. So, yeah, and it was fun hanging out with her, obviously, and I mean, it just felt super exciting. I like exciting things. What could be more exciting than that? If I were to go to a random like cocktail party, quote unquote, and nobody knew me there, and I segued into the conversation with a socially appropriate lead in, like somebody give me enough of an opening for socially appropriate, and if I manage the display of cool stuff that I could talk about that I've done correctly, that could be a lot of FE payoff right there. Because it's like I did go on a trip to visit all those people for my YouTube channel. But I tell you what's disconcerting or demoralizing is the amount of likes on Casual INTP's incredibly stupid YMCA video.
Yeah.
People must hate this fucking platform. But why? I mean, I get some of the reasons. I get the fact the mobile app sucks. I get the fact that it doesn't work very well on Mac. I get the fact that there are sometimes if it gets full, especially I got to, reload and audio becomes a problem and stuff like that. But beyond that, I don't really understand.
It's unfinished. It's only beta. This platform, it's not done yet.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have chosen it. I mean, I didn't choose it. Tiffany chose it. You think it was a good choice?
I like it.
I like it. It works fine. I like the fact that I can change, have a new room at any second.
Made by a company owned by the Norwegian government.
Really?
It's true.
Huh. But